Hey guys. Thank you guys so much for being on here. Give everyone a few minutes to pop in and join us, and we'll get started. If you are tuning in right now, want to hop in the chat and tell me where you're tuning in from. That would be awesome. Make sure the chat button is working as well. All right. Tennessee and Delaware. Jalen and Jacqueline, you guys almost have the same spelling of your names. That's pretty cool. I guess you guys can't see it. So if you guys are chatting too, change that little blue button where it says hosts and panelists and change it to where it says everyone so everyone can see. But we have Jalen, Jaylyn, and then Jacqueline, Jaclyn. You guys commented one right after another. That's cool. All right. Oh, someone from Missouri. Hey, Dante. I'm from Missouri as well. Welcome, Kelsey from Georgia, and Shawnee's from Detroit. Awesome. Love that. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. So you guys put a thumbs up in the chat if you can see my screen okay and you can hear me okay. I want to make sure that you guys can all see this. Get my chat boxes open too. And I'm going to dive right in so you guys can get all the information that you need. Hey, Cindy. Cindy's on here. How's it going? Welcome, Terry. Welcome, Phyllis. All right, great. So I'm just going to dive in and get started. And as people trickle in, we can catch them up with questions and things down the road. So that way you guys can get all the information that you need from this webinar, which is going to help your family tremendously. So once again, welcome to our webinar. I appreciate you guys joining me this morning. I am super excited to dive in and share this exciting journey with you guys into business ownership, what that looks like, being able to get to work from home or from the road and being able to achieve your personal goals when it comes to financial, location, and time preferences. So by starting a bookkeeping business, these are the things that you can accomplish. Did you know that you can make $5,000 per month only working about 10 hours a week, completing the bookkeeping work, and get up to that number within just a few short months? And this is even if you work full time, have kids at home, have a busy schedule, and have never even done bookkeeping before. So if this is something that you're looking to accomplish for yourself or your family, you are in the right place. I'm going to dive in and show you guys exactly how you can do that with a bookkeeping business. So stay tuned for all of this awesome information you guys can take back, discuss with your family, and see if this is exactly what you're looking for. So for those of you that don't know me, my name's Tiffany Higgins. I'm a CPA. I'm a mom of 5. I founded the Stay-at-Home Bookkeeper Academy after experiencing all the wonderful things that happened to my family since starting my at-home bookkeeping business back in 2015. So when I did that, it allowed me to be able to work part-time from home. I was able to grow this business even though I had a 6-month-old attached to my hip and 2 elementary school age kiddos that had busy schedules and homework and all those things. And I was able to grow my business really pretty easy and quickly, even with all of that and doing that by myself. So much so that my husband was also able to leave his corporate job within about 7 months of starting my business. I had brought in enough money with my business in that short amount of time to be able to cover all of our basic bills for our family. He actually got to retire on Christmas Eve, so we're coming up on 8 years of him being retired from corporate America, which was an awesome Christmas present, if I do say so myself, probably the best one that I've ever given him. And from there, I continued to grow my bookkeeping business steadily over a few years until I was eventually making about $200,000 per year. And I was working less than a 40-hour work week when it came to actually doing the bookkeeping work for my clients, which is incredible. So because of this flexible schedule and really relatively low time commitment, we were able to kind of spread the duties from our business between my husband and I, and then be able to then spread those duties between the family as well. So during this time, we also grew our family. I ended up having twins. I was actually able to exclusively nurse them, and they continued to nurse for like 2 years, which I say that because that's a very demanding thing to do, and you have to be available all the time, right? And so I was able to have this business where we were making more money than we had ever made combined at our corporate salaries. But I was also able to have that flexibility to be able to, raise my kids the way I want. Jalen says, twin mom, awesome. I love that. And then, of course, from there too, I was able to homeschool. We decided to homeschool our older three kids. We upgraded our house, which we found a different house that we liked in a different city, and we moved. And all of this time, my business was thriving. It was growing. It was manageable to do that with all of the family things going on. Now, as you guys know, having twins by itself is hard. Having 5 kids is hard. Homeschooling is hard. But we were able to do all of those things still and have a lot of clients and be able to keep the same clients year after year and keep everybody happy. So it was work because we wanted a big family, but it was doable, and we got to actually have everything that we wanted, and we didn't have to sacrifice or choose. So it was really incredible for us. I can't wait to show you guys exactly what it could look like for you and your family, and then also give you the actionable steps on like what this process looks like. So I want you guys to type a yes in the chat or comment below if you would love to work from home, have reduced hours, but have more money coming in and still be available to your family anytime they need you. Yes, Kelsey says, literally the dream. Absolutely. I want you guys to live the dream. And I'm going to talk about this here in an upcoming slide, but it's really important to me that you guys start to think about how this can be a possibility for you. You may be stuck in an undesirable situation right now, but this is a possibility for you. So I want you guys to all be thinking that as you go through and you hear all of this, okay? So I love it. Lots of people say yes. That's why you guys are here. I'm glad we're all on the same page. And just so you know, at the Bookkeeper Academy, our sole mission, the reason that this company exists, is to empower people to become financially independent without sacrificing connectivity with their families by offering the education framework to launch their own bookkeeping business from home. So this is literally why we are here. This is what we stand for. Now, for fun, our motto is have your cake and eat it too. We believe you shouldn't have to choose between being the parent you want to be for your kids and also being able to fully provide for them financially. So we don't choose. We want both. We have both. Everyone in our program has both. And on this call, I'm going to show you how you can have your cake and eat it too, reaching financial freedom for your family, whatever that looks like for you guys, while also being able to spend time with them on your terms. Again, whatever that looks like for your family. So I am curious before we dive in and get started, who all we have attending today. So if you have been on a live webinar with me in the recent past, type a 1 in the chat. And if this is your first time here, type a 2. And remember, if you can, make sure the little blue box says everyone instead of just host and panelists so that we can all see all the comments. So let's see. Lots of new people. Welcome back, Phyllis. Oh, Sarita, welcome back. I know we got a call with you. Welcome, Carolyn. Carolyn just joined the Academy. We're so excited she joined yesterday. All right, lots of 2s. Welcome back, Sharma. She's been excited about this for a while. So, all right. So welcome back again to everybody that is returning and getting more comfortable with the idea of becoming a business owner. But for everybody that's new, I want to extend a personal welcome to you as well. We're going to go over lots of information here. I'm going to stay on until all of your questions are answered. So if you're able to stay on through this entire thing, or even if you have to pop off, pop back on. That way, if you have some answers here at the end too, I can answer all of those for you. It's obviously this call is recorded as well. And Sean, my husband, he's on this call. He's going to text everybody after this call, make sure that you got your questions answered, and then get you access to the replay. And then also, if it makes sense for you guys at that point in time, he'll walk you through how to get funding for the program so you can get started right away. So we also do these every Thursday and Saturday, 10 a.m. Central Time. So you can hop back on anytime that you want and invite your significant other or anybody that's going to help you make a decision about moving forward with this business. And then also you can invite other people that you think might be interested in this as well. So a special note for this Saturday, since it is rolling into Christmas time, I'm still going to be live on Saturday morning at 10 a.m., but it's going to be an open Q&A. I'm not going to do a formal presentation like this. So if you want to come back on Saturday, we can chit chat, ask, you guys can get your questions answered and go from there. All right. So anytime you guys can come back though, but also I want to let you guys know that here at the Bookkeeper Academy, we love questions. So don't be shy. It's the best way we can communicate with you guys and get you all the information that you need. You can ask me anything that you're curious about when it comes to starting a bookkeeping business for your family or how it will work for your family. And feel free to comment in the chat. If you make it to everybody, that's great because other people can see your questions. But if you want it to be more discreet or private, you can just send a question directly to me, to the host, and I'll answer those as well. But transparency is one of our core values at the Stay at Home Bookkeeper Academy. So I would love to help clear up any question you have so you know exactly what this path to financial freedom could look like for your family. All right, so real quick, I'll show you guys what the agenda is for today. Hey, Wanda, good to see you on here. So that way you guys know exactly what we're going to be covering. And the first thing I like to do is go over the investment, okay? So that you guys are crystal clear on what that will look like if you decide to start your bookkeeping business and you decide to join our Bookkeeper Academy. You're going to know exactly what that looks like. I'm also going to share with you how every single person in our program does get approved for financing to be able to come in to the program because we have this special lender who works with us because our students can have such quick success. They're comfortable lending everybody, which is great. So I'll give you guys some more details about that. And then we'll move right into talking about your goals because it helps to get clarity on what your goals are. So then when I go to the part of this where I can show you the actual roadmap to get there, you'll be able to understand what that looks like. So that will roll us into the third part of why a bookkeeping business is ideal for your family and exactly how you can utilize it to help you reach the goals that we set in phase 2. And then lastly, of course, I'm going to walk you through how our team can help you kickstart your business, build the foundation for years to come, whether you're an experienced bookkeeper or you've never even heard of QuickBooks before. So I'll show you exactly how we walk through all that. So comment yes or a thumbs up in the chat if this sounds good to you. All right, awesome. So we're going to dive in with some details about the investment first and how you can get started with our new guaranteed funding program. And then if you're new here, you're going to be able to see how you can turn this investment into lifelong money for your family. So stick around for that. But our Bookkeeper Academy program is $12,000 for a full 12 months of support in our program. And we're going to help you learn the skill of becoming a bookkeeping business owner. And we're going to help you make $100,000 in your first 12 months. So you can go from literally making $0 and being a brand new business owner and brand new to bookkeeping to making over $100,000. And key point here, guys, working part-time. So you can pay in full, but we also have a payment plan as well, which I'm going to show you about here in a second. But I also want to highlight the fact of the type of return that you're going to expect with your investment in the program. So we are set up to help you get almost a 10x return on your investment. Now, when you invest in other things and you're looking for a return on investment, let's say 401k or stock market or a savings account or a CD or what else? Real estate, things like that. those things are great, can be great investments as well, but a lot of times the return is very small. Sometimes 0.5% up to 2, maybe 7% max. And a lot of times the return on those investments take anywhere from 2 to 3 or even 10 years. And sometimes they can be risky, right? You can even lose your investment, right? So when you start a business and you're investing in yourself and your skill set, and then you specifically invest in a business, that is always going to be the biggest return on investment that you'll get. And then you can take the profit from your business and then be able to invest in those other things that have maybe a slower or a smaller return, but are more passive, right? So that's the ultimate goal at the end of the day. So I just want to let you know, if your goal is to make at least $100,000 in your first year, we are set up to help you do that. Now, we also have people in our program that their goal is to get more time back. So they're not as focused on hitting that 6-figure mark, but maybe they're more focused on continuing to make what they make while slashing their hours down by like a fourth of the time. So either one, whatever your goal is, we are able to set up, and we're set up and able to help you achieve those. So I'll explain a little bit more about that as we go as well. So the other cool thing about our program that I want to highlight is that our students can start making money right away. So you don't have to go through our Bookkeeper Academy for the full 12 months in order to start making money. And because of that fact, that's why we have a lender that is willing to work with our students and help them with financing. Everybody's approved, which is fantastic. And it's because we know, they know, and we know that you guys can make money pretty quickly and be able to easily afford the monthly payment to the lender, even if it's not something that's really within your budget right now. So even if you have bad credit, you're still approved. Even if you don't have a job right now and you're unemployed, you can still be approved for funding. Even if your budget is super tight and long term you couldn't never afford these payments, if you can squeeze out enough in your budget to cover the first 2 to 3 payments, and you come into our program and take action right away and follow our guidelines and follow our steps, then you are going to be able to make the money back to cover the investment. So even if those 3 things, you fall into those buckets, you're still going to be approved for financing, which is fantastic. And I'll tell you guys a little bit about what that looks like. So if you decide to go to the route with financing, the monthly payment for our Bookkeeper Academy program is only $640. The cool thing about this is it's the equivalent of like 1 to 2 super small clients. So if you can make money really quickly in your bookkeeping business once you launch it in our academy, and you only need 1 to 2 clients to cover this investment, you'll be able to see how easily it'll be to then continue to add to this investment and bring in more money from your bookkeeping business to pull into your personal budget, right? And then we'll help you double or triple the income that you have for your family. Now, this is based off of a 24-month payment plan, though, which would put you at paying about $15,000 over 24 months, which, would include interest, right? But most of our students are actually able to pay this off early because of what we call new client sign-on fees, which I'm going to show you all about on an upcoming slide. And the cool thing about that is if you do pay it off early, you get to avoid all of that interest. So it ends up still being the 12,000 instead of the 15,360, which is really awesome. And I'll show you guys here shortly how you can apply for funding. And as you guys are going through this, if anybody does want to apply for funding, type that in the chat and Sean can start talking with you right away. But you can also pay us directly too, so that way you can focus on just getting right into the academy and growing your business. All right. So now that we have the investment details out of the way, I want to talk about your beliefs for a second. I would love to know what you guys think about making $100,000 in a year. So, do you believe that it is possible for you to make this kind of money if you had the right tools, the right opportunity, the right mentor? Do you feel like you could accomplish this? With help, yes. Okay, great. So type a 1 for yes, I do believe in myself. I could accomplish that with the right guidance. or type of 2 for, I can't possibly imagine how I could ever make that kind of money for my family. So, and this is different for everybody, so don't be shy. If you're a 2, put a 2. I see lots of 1s, which is very exciting. I love that. Okay, so I asked that question because mindset is key when you're starting your business, right? We focus on mindset a lot in our Bookkeeper Academy because the biggest thing is you first have to believe in yourself. The biggest obstacles that our students have and that they face when they start their business and grow their business is their own limiting beliefs. So, as we go through this webinar, I want you guys to practice imagining these results for yourself. See if you can truly believe in yourself enough to accomplish these goals. Imagine what it would be like if you did, right? We have the exact path for you to be able to reach all of your goals, and we're going to help you overcome any obstacles that come your way, specifically and especially when mindset is the main obstacle. This is stuff that I've had to work on over the years as well. Nobody's immune to this. So it's something that we all focus on in the academy, because at any point in time, you could kind of get knocked off your game, and we want to pick you right back up and get you back on that path. Okay. Now, to keep your mindset also on the right track, we focus really heavily on goals. What goals do you have for yourself? Visualizing those goals, but also having that exact path to being able to reach them, so you know exactly how to do it. All you have to do is actually complete the action steps, right? So the first thing we're going to do here is determine what are your goals. So then I can show you a roadmap of how to reach them and a timeline for how quickly to do so. That way, you guys all leave this call with complete clarity on what to expect as you move forward with starting your bookkeeping business. So, first, we're going to start with financial goals, because without money, you really can't accomplish any of your other goals. So, this is really the first and most important thing that we're going to talk about. But in a close second is time goals, right? We want to talk about how much you want to work. What is your preferred schedule? And, why is having more time back in your life important to you? Do you have little kids? Things like that. Do you have elderly parents? You can't ever get time back. So time is a very close second of being top importance, right? And then we'll also talk about location goals, because a lot of people want to do this because this business is all virtual. You can travel, you can do this from anywhere. You can do it from, California to New York to Missouri. You can do this while you're in Jamaica. You can do it while you're traveling abroad. Doesn't matter, which is really fantastic. So we want to talk about those goals. So let's dive in and start with your financial goals. I want to put these into 3 different buckets. And the first one that we have is called a bare minimum requirement. So this is going to be a basic goal that you would want to hit to give yourself confidence that you're on the right path, and basically establishing proof of concept for your family. So for me, back in 2015, I was making about $3,500 per month after taxes at my CPA job. But we just had our 3rd child, and I was a crazy person, didn't want to put her in daycare. So we figured out how to hire a nanny and we had to pay the nanny $1,500 a month. We were not expecting that expense, and that was a little rough for us, but we figured out how to make it work. So at the end of the day, I was really netting about $2,000 a month at my CPA job after paying the nanny. So that was kind of my bare minimum goal when I first started. Obviously, I knew I wanted more than that, but I knew if I just made $2,000, I'd be fine for a while. So I considered that my very first goal. I decided to quit my job and just put all my effort into my business right from the beginning, because I figured, what's the worst that could happen? At the end of the day, I could just go get another job if I wasn't able to accomplish this. And so, but I didn't take no for an answer for myself either. So I just figured I would make it work, right? So, what would that bare minimum goal be for you? Could be a lot of different things depending on everybody's situations, but your portion of the bills, what would you feel comfortable with being able to leave your job or something like that? So type in the chat, what is the ballpark number that you would want to make in your bookkeeping business? That would be your first goal, maybe allow you to start pivoting away from whatever undesirable situation that you are in. Maybe you can cancel that second job or uh, go down to part-time or quit or whatever. So type that in the chat. What is your financial goal number one? And while you guys are doing that, I don't see any yet. Financial goals, guys, what's your first one? Carolyn says 2000 as well. All right. While you guys are typing that in, we'll talk about financial goal two. And these are important because we'll be able to map these out later. So this one is going to be more like your covered, content, worry-free goal. When you're worry-free, not having to, budget every penny, worrying about checking grocery prices, you can go out to dinner once a week without, stressing. For my family back at that point in time in 2015, it was around $5,000 to $6,000 per month. That would allow me to cover most of our basic expenses, didn't have to worry about losing our house or our car or anything like that. My husband was able to leave his job as well, which allowed us to start reaching some of our lifestyle goals, gives us more time freedom and flexibility, which was awesome. So type in the chat, what would be your goal number two? All right. Financial goal is to stop working, Lenora. What would that mean for you? How much would you have to be able to bring in to stop working? Yeah, we also, yeah, Sean can tell you guys a little bit about health insurance as well. But that's one thing that you do on your own when you have your own business. Like when my husband quit his job, right? He was the one that had health insurance for us too. So we found a private policy through a healthcare sharing co-op company called Liberty Health Share, and it has been working wonders for us. We've had it since 2015. It is very affordable for our family of seven, has all been covered on it. And when I had my twins, I was using that health policy, and actually my deductible and copays were less than when I had my third child on corporate health insurance. So it's pretty nice. Yep. All right. So now financial goal number three. This is like a wow goal. I like to call it a wow goal. So this is one where it's like, you've always been dreaming about things, like when you're at work, you're talking to your spouse or something, and you're like, one day I'm going to do this, or one day on this. It's all the stuff that's on your bucket list. What would you actually need to bring in per month to be able to start, checking some of those things off of your bucket list item? What would that be? So for us at the time, it was making a little bit more than 10,000 a month. That's what we really needed to start being able to do things like, I watched my boss go on these long trips, 2 to 3 week long vacations, and bounce between all his different vacation homes in Sedona and Colorado and stuff. And I was always jealous. I always wanted to do that. So I knew if I was making like 10,000 a month, we'd be able to do that at least once a year, maybe not every single month, but this also allowed us to skip budgeting and penny pinching. We didn't have to do that. We then were able to take those family vacations. We were able to buy a brand new car, which I had never had. We even upgraded our house and got one with a pool, which is awesome. So type in the chat if you haven't already. What is your goal number three, your wow goal? And then, of course, the financial goals, we need that because we need to see that path. But we also want to talk a little bit about time and schedule goals. So think about how much you currently work right now per week. So I would include all the hours that you are currently devoting to your career. So if you work outside the home, commute, all that kind of stuff. So for me, I worked about 40 hours per week. I worked like 5 minutes from my house, and I usually work through lunch, those types of things. So I wasn't really gone more than 40 hours per week on average, as it averaged out over tax season and stuff. But on the other hand, my husband, Sean, he was commuting to downtown Kansas City. He had to be there at 8 a.m. He couldn't leave till 5. A lot of times he got stuck working late, and then he had to fight traffic to and from every single day. So he was gone like 60 hours per week. That's the amount of time he was gone. So add up that, type out how many hours in the chat that you are currently working, focusing on your career away from your family. What does that look like for you guys, your current time investment? 50 to 60 hours for Kelsey. Yeah, that's a lot. So as you guys are typing that in and calculating up your total, time investment right now, what is your preferred time investment? So type that in the chat. For some people, it can be 15 to 20 or 25 hours per week. Other people are happy working 40 or 50 hours a week, but they just want to reap more financial benefits. So if you could pick your own schedule, let's assume you have to work. Nobody in here is like independently wealthy and can just retire at the age of 30. Let's say you have to work. How much would you be okay with, assuming you could make unlimited money? How many hours per week would you want to work? So Dante's going to stay the same, 25 to 30. Kelsey would like to basically cut hers in half. I like that. Preferred hours is 30 and want to work from home. Awesome. So keep in mind that a bookkeeping business, you're going to get to choose the time of day, and you can even change it from week to week. You can set your own schedule. It's completely flexible, but these numbers are going to be important on an upcoming slide. So keep those coming and notate those. And then, like Lenora said, let's talk about your location goals. What is your current workspace, and where do you prefer to work? Do you have a desire to work from home, or maybe the RV, or maybe you want to visit family across the country or abroad that you can't do either because of, time restrictions or money restrictions, right? And what is your current or preferred travel schedule? Do you want to take more vacations and more trips, or can you not do that because of your job right now? So type in the chat, what are some of your location freedom goals? Where do you want to work from? Yes, most people say anywhere. The flexibility to choose, work from home, but pick up and travel anytime you want, right? I want to go to the island. Yes. Okay, and then keep this in mind too. These are always fun as well. Additional goals that you have for yourself, your family that you would like to achieve. All of these things can also be achieved through your bookkeeping business. Debt payoff, becoming debt free, even paying off your house early, but more specifically, get rid of all those credit cards, get rid of all of those car loans and things like that. Buying a house, maybe you want to buy your first house, or you want to upgrade into your dream home, or maybe you want to start investing in a savings or 401k or even real estate. So all of these things are a possibility as you grow your bookkeeping business as well. And I want to read you a quick post from one of our students, one of our original students. Her name is Jera, and she had some really great success because she focused very heavily on paying off her husband's student loan debt when she came into the academy. So I want to share with you how that worked for her. Jera says, "Hello, everyone. I wanted to share an amazing win of mine, and I hope it lifts and encourages you to know you can do it. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I homeschool my 4 kids. My husband graduated chiropractic school with around $175,000 of debt. We were just squeezing by to pay all expenses on top of the ever-crushing school loan. I had worked full-time up until I had my kids, and though I enjoy being a mother, I always wanted to get back into the work field, even just for a day or two. I tried looking for part-time jobs, but at $9 an hour or less, and I didn't get a higher education, so making more was out of the question without going back to school." She says, "I researched and followed several groups, school programs, and even tried to get into marketing, which ironically she said she was awful at. And someone had mentioned Tiffany's group, and though I didn't have bookkeeping experience, I really enjoyed finances and problem solving. Of course, with things being tight, I worried that we would spend the money and I wouldn't see a return. I contemplated for a couple days, and my husband encouraged me to just go for it. One of the best decisions we have made. I joined in summer of 2019 and opened in October of 2019. It took me about 3 months to land my first client. It has had its ups and downs, but I am so glad I decided to take that chance. Fast forward to now, I have 25 monthly clients as well as contract work for a CPA. I have 3 part-time employees, and I put in roughly 20 to 40 hours a week. I do this all from home." She says, "I still homeschool my kids, take vacation days, and schedule things on my time. I put in a lot of evening hours so I can spend the day with my kids. Are you ready for the big news? We paid off our loans. A 30-year loan, $175,000, in less than 5 years, and the majority was paid in 2020 and 2021. We are now saving up a down payment to build our dream home, which I will certainly share pics once it comes together. I make more per hour than my husband, and he took 8 years of school, and I took Tiffany's program for a small fee. So she makes more than her husband as well. I'm also not capped at what I can earn. I'm not limited to how many hours I can work. I can contract out, hire more employees, and continue to grow as big as I want. The sky's the limit. I'm just so happy I stumbled upon this group. Thank you to Tiffany for making it possible for this mom to dream big. So to give you guys kind of an idea, when you start your bookkeeping business, you're just going to take a step and then another step and another step. And eventually it's going to lead to stuff like this. So comment in the chat, what do you think about being able to pay off all of your debt with your bookkeeping business? Would that be amazing for you? Type a yes if that's something you guys want to do. And then just to show you guys some of the things I accomplished in my first year to celebrate our 1-year anniversary in our bookkeeping business in June of 2016, we bought a brand new van, completely paid this off within about 6 months. It was a $45,000 van. And I bought this and I got approved for this with our bookkeeping business income as our sole and only income coming into our family. And fun fact, we still drive that car as our primary vehicle today. And then we took that van and immediately went on a 16-day family vacation. I'd always wanted to do that, like I mentioned at the beginning, take a long trip, be able to sightsee, and really have a nice, fun, long vacation. So we stopped in Estes Park, Colorado, then we went to Mission Beach, California, and then stopped at the Grand Canyon on the way home. And the bookkeeping business is really great to be able to do this as well, because most of your deadlines in a bookkeeping business are going to be in a 30-day, a monthly time span. So you can structure your vacations around where you can do the bare minimum. Like I brought my laptop on this trip, but I just did basic bare minimum, spot check things, that's it. Then when we got home from the trip, I just got caught up on all my work. So it allowed me to really enjoy this vacation and be very present and be there with the kids. And that's another really great thing about how flexible a bookkeeping business is. Then in 2018, about 3 years after I started my business, we were looking into buying a new house because we wanted a pool and we needed a bigger place after we had our twins. And we ended up upgrading this house. It was twice the size, twice the amount of our house that we were currently living in. And much to my surprise, I got approved for this house literally strictly on our bookkeeping business income, which was fantastic. We weren't making money in any other way. It was only through bookkeeping. So type in the chat, what are some things that you guys want to accomplish, big ticket items or things like that? Let's say 6 months or 12 months or 18 months down the road, potentially, what do you guys want to accomplish if you start your bookkeeping business now? So type that in the chat. Could be a new car, house, debt payoff, whatever that is. And while you guys are typing that out, retire and pay off student loan debt. Yes. I'm going to start to dive in now and show you exactly how this bookkeeping business can help you reach those goals and give you the exact roadmap to getting there. That way you have complete clarity on what this process looks like and in the timeline for how quickly you can reach these various goals that we just talked about. So, buy first house, build a home, pay off husband's film school. Cool. Better reliable cars, new car, 5-year home paid for. Love that. Get a smaller house to live in. Awesome. I love that. Disney cruise. That's fun. Okay, so first thing I want to go over here is average time it takes students to reach various levels of consistent, reoccurring, and dependable monthly income in their bookkeeping business. Now, when you have a bookkeeping business, there are several ways you can earn money through the business. Cleanup jobs, backwork jobs, commission income, payroll, sales tax, things like that. A lot of those things are not as consistent and they can vary from student to student and client to client. So this chart is a super conservative, realistic picture of the time frame you can expect with consistent monthly bookkeeping income. So even if you didn't add any more clients once you reach one of these levels, you'll be able to count on this money coming into you every single month. Most of your clients are going to stay with you for years and years. So this is typically very, very dependable money. It leaves their account on the first, goes into your account, usually hits by the fifth. So this is monthly maintenance fees. We charge a fixed price for every bookkeeping client that you sign up, and then they pay you that same amount every single month. So every time you get a new client, you're increasing your monthly income that comes into your family every single time you get a new client, which is awesome. I'm also going to show you on an upcoming slide how you can make more money with those other things that I just talked about. But I want you to see how you can plan getting out of, your job or reaching some of your financial goals with consistent reoccurring monthly clients. So typically what we see from our students, if they come right into the program and they start working through the process right away, which we usually ask our students to spend about an hour, sometimes 2 hours per day on either getting through the content or starting, to execute, take some action steps, then they can hit these levels. So it's about $1,000 of monthly income that's added to their business for every month they're in business on average. So for example, if you want to make $2,000 per month as your first goal, like I did, it'll probably take you about 2 months to get there. So if you think about that, by this time in February, late February, you'll already be at that first goal, which is really, really quick. And then, of course, let's say your second goal is $5,000 per month. It's going to take you roughly about 5 months to get there. And that would put you at what, like May or April, May, January, February, March, April, May. Yeah, like the end of May, towards the end of May. So by summer, you guys could potentially and easily be at least $5,000 per month. The other cool thing is during tax season, we see our students achieve these milestones a lot quicker, which is really awesome. We're about ready to roll into the main tax season, which is January through April. So you'll be able to potentially get these clients in a lot faster. Now, this chart is also based on our average student. Our average student works full-time, has little kids at home, is just trying to squeeze out an hour or two a day to work on their business. And if that's you, that's the pace you can expect. Obviously, it can happen a little quicker if you have more time to focus on growing your business in the beginning. And then also, it can happen a little slower if you have to work on your mindset and you need to get past some, limiting beliefs or barriers. So this is kind of an average, assuming that you're busy, but you're going to come in and take action right away. So if you look at that and you can see if within just a couple of months you're hitting $2,000 to $3,000 per month in your bookkeeping business, obviously the monthly payment for the financing of $640 a month is easily going to be covered by your bookkeeping business, and you're already going to be making a profit just within a couple of short months, which is one reason why the lender is happy to approve everybody. So all you really have to do is make sure you can afford those first few payments. You come in and you start taking action right away. So Kelsey says, assuming we focus more in the beginning as faster possible. Yes, absolutely. Faster as possible. But I'm also going to show you how some of our students are able to make, $3, $4, $6, $9, $10,000 in their first couple months too. So those are with cleanup jobs and things like that. And I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like on the upcoming slide. But this one is like, once you hit these levels, you hit these milestones. If you're content with where you're at, let's say you just want to get to 5,000 per month and you just want to coast there for a while, you don't have to do any more marketing. You could literally just do the bare minimum for your clients to do all the work and have a ton of time on your hands, which is awesome. So now at these different income level milestones, probably wondering, how many clients do I actually need, right? So here's a chart showing you approximately how many clients you're going to need at these various monthly income levels. This is an average based on super small clients. So if you get a larger client and you charge that client more, obviously you're going to need less clients to reach your goal, right? It's a range. So some of our students get, the basic clients that are around $300 to $500 a month. Other students are able to get clients where they're paying $2,000 or $3,000 a month. So for example, Kim got a new client last December, and this client paid her $21.97 per month. I'm going to show you a little bit more about Kim on an upcoming slide, but obviously she hit that first milestone with one client instead of the four that are listed here. When I had my bookkeeping business, I was making $20,000 per month, and I had 33 clients instead of the 40 that are listed here. So it kind of gives you a typical feel for the range. But I want you guys to look at this chart. Remember back to what your first goal was, your bare minimum goal, and then figure out how many clients you need and type that in the chat. So for me, my bare minimum goal was 2,000. I know I needed 4 clients to be able to make that kind of money. So you type in the chat, how many clients do you need to make your bare minimum goal? Now, I knew how many clients I needed going into this because I worked at a CPA firm and I did all the bookkeeping. I could see what my boss was charging his clients, and I knew how many I would need to make $2,000 a month. So that's how I knew this to be true for myself. And then, of course, I've helped thousands of people do this as well. So this is kind of how it works out for them too. So I'm seeing on average anywhere from like 4 to 10 clients is what you guys need to hit your first milestone, your first goal. So I want to show you guys now the potential client pool that you're working with. How hard is it to find 4 or even 10 clients, right? So check out this chart. This is from the SBA.gov, and it shows you how many potential clients there are out there. In 2022 alone, there were 33.2 million small businesses in existence, which is huge, right? And you guys only need like 4 or 6 or 10 clients, right? And there's 33.2 million. And as you can see from this chart, this shows the last 6 years. Every year it gets bigger. In fact, there's over 500,000 small businesses that are starting up every single month. And bookkeepers and CPAs are retiring in droves. And there's really nobody to replace them because there's been a big decline in people interested in getting accounting degrees, most likely because of the low pay and the long hours during tax season. So clients are literally everywhere. There's never going to be a shortage of potential clients for you. There are tons of fish in the sea, and there's never going to be enough bookkeepers out there to help everyone. No matter how many people join our program, there's never going to be enough bookkeepers, okay? It also helps, though, that bookkeeping is a required service. It's not a luxury item that you have to try and convince someone they need. You have to try and convince them to purchase it. They all know they need it, and they are all already convinced of the value. Because they've needed to have it done. They can't get their taxes filed if bookkeeping isn't done. They can't apply for loans if their bookkeeping isn't done. In fact, I just got on a call with a student last night because her client is like needing some financials so he can go apply for a loan, and she needed help with the cleanup job. So, and this guy's like, I really need my bookkeeping. So this is something that they all know they need. And it's very easy to get clients to come on board because you don't have to sell them. They know they need it. And I'm going to show you exactly how we teach people how to do that as well on an upcoming slide. So based on this chart, the potential client pool, type a yes in the chat if you feel like if you know how to find clients, it's going to be pretty easy to find them when you only need 4 or 6 or 8 or 10. Type a yes if you agree that it's going to be doable to reach your goal. Awesome. Love that. I'm glad you guys are on the same page. So my next slide is my favorite slide of the entire presentation. And this is going to show you guys the income versus the time commitment that you actually have to put in to complete the bookkeeping work for your clients. So here it is. Expected time commitment you need to make to complete the bookkeeping work for the clients you have at various monthly income levels. So for your first goal of $2,000, you only actually have to work 4 hours per week to complete the bookkeeping work for all of those clients. 4 hours. Does that seem crazy to you guys? So I want you guys to do a quick, teeny tiny bit of math. And pro tip, this is the only type of math you ever have to do, and you can use a calculator, okay? You don't have to be good at math to be awesome at bookkeeping and have a thriving business. But I want you guys to calculate up the total hours that you will save if you did this instead. So for me, I was netting $2,000 a month after paying my nanny, right? So, but I was working 40 hours a week. But if I pivoted to a bookkeeping business and I was netting $2,000 per month in my bookkeeping business instead, I only have to work 4 hours per week. That means I was going to save 36 hours every single week by pivoting to my bookkeeping business instead of working for my boss. So I want you guys to type in the chat, look at this thing too, and see how many hours per week would you save if you were making money in a bookkeeping business instead of the position that you are now. So type that in the chat. Dante would save 30 hours. Amazing. Wow, Kelsey would save 46 to 56. That is crazy. So I don't know, Kelsey, if you have little ones, but look at all that time that you would get back. Brittany, welcome. Brittany just joined the academy. She said 54 hours excluding travel time. Annabelle 25 plus. Yeah. So tons of time that has been saved. So can you guys just imagine that for a minute? What would you do if you had all that time back? Spend it with your family, pick up a hobby, just enjoy life more, maybe relax. But also, one thing you can do is reinvest some of it back into your business so you can get to goal 2 and goal 3. And can you imagine if you had 46 to 56 hours or 30 hours or 40 hours a week, even if you reinvested a fourth of that back into your business, that's going to be like more than you're already doing, right? And then it'll get you to the next level and the next level and the next level, which is incredible. Do you have courses for beginners going into bookkeeping? Yes, Nikisha, we do. And this program, our Bookkeeper Academy, it is set up to help people at ground zero. So when we first launched our program it's coming up on 5 years ago, we catered to people that knew nothing about bookkeeping, no certifications, no degrees in bookkeeping or accounting, never even heard of QuickBooks. We catered to those people. Over the years, so we had like 98, 99% of people in our program had no prior experience. Over the years, a lot of people that do have experience in bookkeeping or have a background in accounting or something like that, they have seen all the success that our students had, even with no experience. So they've come in and taken a piece of it too. So now we have about 70% of people in our program are brand new, no experience in this field, and about 30% of them have some type of experience or education in bookkeeping. But right, yes, Kelsey, even no degree. You don't have to have a degree. You don't have to have certifications to do this, to be successful at it. And we are set up to fully help you from the start, from ground zero. So when you guys look at our YouTube channel, we have a lot of student interviews on there. I call it my podcast channel. And pretty much every single person I've ever interviewed on there has had either no experience or no degree or no education or all of the above. So it's really cool. So even like Angela, new to bookkeeping, that's okay. That's what we're here for. We want you guys to be successful, even if you're brand new. But if you guys also take a look at this chart, let's say your WOW goal is $10,000 per month, you're still only working 20 hours per week at that WOW goal, which is awesome. So you could increase your family's income and decrease the hours that you spend and exceed all of those expectations for yourself just by starting this bookkeeping business. But the other cool thing too to keep in mind, it is flexible still. So you can work these hours in the morning before the kids wake up, late at night when they go to bed. You can work only on Mondays and Tuesdays. You can work just when they're in school. You can even change it up every single week if you want. Like when I had my twins, and they weren't sleeping, I did a lot of my bookkeeping work from like 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. And then I went and took a nap from 6 to 10 or noon or whatever. So it's very flexible. And of course, that changed when they started sleeping at night, right? But here's an overview. If you guys want to take a screenshot of this, you're welcome to. This is a recap of everything that we just went over. So the first column is the average time it takes to get these student results, assuming you come in and take action right away, right? Total monthly income milestones that you can reach, and then the number of hours per week it actually takes you to do the bookkeeping work if you're at these revenue levels. And then the approximate number of super small clients that you're going to need to make this kind of money in your bookkeeping business. So, at this point in time, a lot of people tell me, this sounds awesome. It sounds perfect. It sounds great. It sounds too good to be true. So, what's going on? What's the catch here? So, I want to know, do you guys feel that way? Do you feel like this is like a dream come true, but I don't really understand how I would have these results? So, if you're feeling that way, type a yes in the chat. And these next few slides, I'm going to break it down for you how this high money, low time business works. What's the science behind actually having these results? Okay, awesome. First thing before I go to the next slide that I want to point out is probably, I'm going to assume most of you on this call are not business owners or haven't been maybe in the past, or haven't been a business owner that had a team of employees. So you have either just worked for yourself or you've worked for a boss as an employee. So the thought process and the mentality, the perspective that you have is different. When you become a business owner, and then especially as you start hiring people to work for you, you're going to be thinking differently about money, for one. But when you have a business like that, you need to be able to not only provide for yourself, have profit, but you need to be able to pay people as well, right? So your boss right now, if he's the owner, he or she is the owner of the company that you work for, they are paying you, right? But they have plenty of money left over in their business to also pay themselves, right? And they probably make more than you, right? So that's part of the science behind this. You are going to be building a business. You're not just going to be a bookkeeper doing bookkeeping for people. I'm going to show you how to build a business where you not only have enough profit for you and your family, but then also even more money coming in that if you decide to later hire team members, you'll be able to pay for them too. So that's one thing. But to actually have those results, there's a couple of key pillars that make it possible. The first and most important step is proper quoting. So, obviously, understanding how to charge, make sure you're not undercharging or undervaluing the services that you're going to be offering. That's an important skill to develop. If you don't quote properly, no matter what, it takes you the same amount of time to do this. But if you underquote versus quoting properly, you're going to obviously be making less money per hour, which then means you'll be able to take on less clients because you're going to be busy, right? So we want to make sure that when you quote, that we help you learn how to do that properly. So that way you're able to make at least $100 an hour by the time you actually like do the work. Now, proper quoting is kind of like an art, and we work with our students in our Bookkeeper Academy on exactly how to do that. And it takes some time to really fine tune that process. In our Bookkeeper Academy, you get a flow chart on quoting, and you also get a quoting tool. So when you have somebody that's interested in bookkeeping services, we give you a script basically of questions to ask them. They answer the questions, and then you get to take those answers and plug it into the quoting tool. And then the quoting tool tells you exactly what to charge. And then on top of that, we usually have our students run those quotes by us in a live setting. So that way we can say, oh, well, this person asked for a little bit more that the quoting tool wasn't taking into consideration. So I would recommend charging a little bit more instead. So for example, we had this student named Sylvia, and she had a handful of clients that she had gathered, but then she got this one lead who was in a construction industry. And this was industry she hadn't worked in yet, which is the cool thing about our academy. You can say yes to just about every single client, because even though you've never worked with them before or maybe worked in that industry, we're going to help you learn how to do it as you get that client. But she came to the call and she said, the quoting tool says I should charge $500 a month, but he's wanting a few extra things. So what do you think I should quote? And our coaches told her that based on everything that they would recommend that she up it to $1,000 a month. And so she was a little bit nervous about that because that was the biggest quote she had given out yet. But the guy said yes and proceeded to sign up for bookkeeping services. And the great thing about that is that with that one conversation that she had with our team, she was able to make an additional $500 per month in her bookkeeping business. So that's going to make a huge difference in her overall bottom line, in her overall hourly rate. When she calculates how many hours she works on this client and divides it out, she's basically going to have double the hourly rate than she would have, right? So if you even multiply that out, let's say she has that client for an entire year, that's a $6,000 return on her investment just by that one communication that she had with our team. So she's going to make an extra 6 grand on this one client. But most of the time, people keep their clients for years and years and years, maybe even decades. So let's say she keeps this client for 5 years. She's literally going to make $30,000 just from that one conversation with our team, helping her quote, helping her get crystal clear on that, which is awesome. But also, once you get the quoting process down and you're quoting appropriately, then it's really important to understand how to do the work efficiently and how to make sure that you are delivering the results to the client that they want without doing a bunch of extra stuff that's really unnecessary that takes up your time. So we help you figure out how to do the bookkeeping super efficient, how to use QuickBooks Online and leverage the automations that are in there to have the program even do some of the work for you, which is really cool. And then we help you manage boundaries with your clients because sometimes things happen like scope creep. And that's where your clients over time ask you to do a little bit more and a little bit more. And you start doing those things without charging more. And before you know it, you're doing all these extra things for free. So we help you set boundaries so that doesn't happen. And that way you can have communication with your clients. If they do want these extra services, we help you re-quote them. So those two things, you get a fixed fee from your client that is properly quoted, and you do the work really efficiently the way we show you. Then you're going to total up all of your hours for the month, divide it against that fixed fee that your client is paying you. And that is how you end up making over $100 an hour working in your bookkeeping business. So those two things. I've got a couple more bullet points, but do those make sense for you guys so far on how this works? Awesome. Jalen says yes. Brittany says yes. Great. And for those of you on this call that are already in the academy, because several of you have just recently joined, I want you guys to think about this as you're getting clients and you're going through this process. You should always be evaluating yourself. Maybe you get your first client and you're making $70 an hour. Still probably better than where you were, but it's always like bring that to our attention, right? So we can help you figure out where's the breakdown. Are they underquoted, or do we need to teach you how to do something more efficient in the software that's slowing your process down? So for like Wanda, Carolyn, Brittany, you ladies on here, and anybody else that decides to join the academy, think about that as you get your clients, because if you ever get in a situation where you aren't seeing these exact results, that's where we can really come in and help you. Let's figure out what is holding you back there. Yes. Okay. And then on top of that, when you start the business, specifically if you guys decide to join our Bookkeeper Academy to start this, we are going to help you build this business with the end in mind. So normally when people start businesses, they're just thinking, how can I get out of my job? Or how can I just make a little bit of money? They aren't thinking about, what do I want my business to look like in 5 years or 10 years or 20 years, right? People don't usually think that far ahead because they have no idea. You don't have a crystal ball. Well, we have the crystal ball on your bookkeeping business. We're going to be able to show you what you need to do now that you're going to wish you would have known 5 years in the future. Okay. So we're going to help you build that business with that end in mind. And one of them is making sure that the way you set things up right now with your quoting and your workflow, that you are going to be profitable as soon as you decide to hire employees. We don't want you to have to change all of your processes up just because you decide to hire someone. We want everything to still be the same, and you just plug someone right in to your business. So that may be something you decide to do 2, 3 years down the road. A lot of our students end up doing that within like the first 6 to 9 months of being in our program because it is so easy to find clients and to grow quickly. But we want you to have the proper workflow, proper quoting down, so that way you can hire these full-time employees, but still have tons of profit left over for you and your family. So take a look at this slide again that we were looking at earlier. If you look down at the bottom where it says 40 hours per week, a full-time person working in your business, whether that's you or you hire someone, that person's going to be able to handle the workload for clients that total $20,000 per month. Okay. So let's say it's you, right? You're going to work 40 hours a week. You're going to make $20,000 per month. Let's say you hire somebody to come in so you don't have to work those 40 hours, right? The going rate for a full-time bookkeeper is anywhere from $3,500 to $4,500 per month salary. So let's say you want to be a really awesome boss and you just decide to pay them $5,000 a month, because I like to do simple math and I don't like to do mental math. So if you're going to pay them $5,000 a month, but you're making $20,000 in your bookkeeping business, you're going to have a profit of $15,000 for every full-time employee that your business can sustain. So that's still going to allow you guys to have a very healthy profit margin and monthly income to be able to pull into your personal life and still be able to scale your business with a team, but maintaining that work-life balance that you desire for your family and still being able to have plenty of money. So do you guys want to see how it works out if you have a 7-figure business? Like, let's say you do this for a few years and you want to make 7 figures. You guys want to see that? Yes. Thumbs up. Yes. Okay. Lenora says yes. So I'm doing it. Okay. So if you're going to make $1 million a year in your business, let's divide that over 12 months. That would mean you would need to make $83,000 per month. Now, how many full-time employees does that mean? If you divide it by the 20,000, which is what we know a full-time employee can handle, that means you're going to need 4 and then maybe like a part-time employee. So 4.16 full-time employees is what you would need to staff and have a $1 million bookkeeping business. So now if you take that number, multiply by the $5,000 monthly salary rate, that means it's about $20,000 per month that you would have in payroll. Multiply that out by 12 months, your payroll is going to be about $250,000 per year. Now, obviously, that was based off of $1 million of revenue. So you take $1 million minus 250,000, and you're going to have a $750,000 profit after paying your team, which is awesome. If you guys Google top most profitable businesses you can run from home, Forbes.com has an article out there that says bookkeeping and accounting firms are in the top 3. And you guys can accomplish this even without experience. So, and the other cool thing is too, with a bookkeeping business, there is little to no overhead outside of payroll. So cool. So most of that $750,000 is going to be profit for you guys. Okay, so like I mentioned, profit for future employees is something we're going to help you build the business, considering that, having that as a consideration, because we know you'll eventually want to do that. Second thing is, at some point in time, you may want to sell your business. I didn't know I wanted to sell my business back in 2019 until that idea just popped in my head. So I had no idea that I was going to ever do that. But I'm so glad I built my business the way that I did, because it made my business very attractive and something that was at a high sell price point. So this is probably something that you wouldn't even be thinking about the first year or 2 of starting your business, but we are thinking about it for you. And we want to help you set your business up this way. So that way, if you do decide in 5 or 10 or 20 years down the road, you want to sell your business, you can, and you can get top dollar for it. And the cool thing about that too, is you can literally use your bookkeeping business like a retirement account. It's basically your retirement plan. You can eventually sell it and then retire. So I have this one student, Lacey. It's her goal that her and her husband grow their business as big as possible over the next 5 years so they can sell it, retire, and travel the world. That's what she wants to do, literally. Now, to give you guys some examples, when you have a bookkeeping business set up in this fashion and you decide to sell it, you're going to get a multiple of revenue. And the multiple goes up depending on how big your business is. So, for example, let's say you're making $200,000 per year in your bookkeeping business. That's on the smaller side. So you're going to get a one times revenue uh, offer for your business potentially. So if you are making $200,000 a year, you could get an offer for $200,000 for someone to come buy your business. Let's say you grow your business to where you're making $1 million a year. That multiple could potentially go up to two. So someone could offer you $2 million for your $1 million bookkeeping business. And then, of course, as you keep going from there, the multiple goes up quicker, and it fluctuates based on current market values and things like that. But I sold my business on that one times multiple, which was really awesome. I have a friend that has $1 million bookkeeping business who got offered 2.2 million for her company. And the reason that these businesses are so attractive to potential buyers is because of the consistent, dependable, reoccurring income, like I showed you guys on that one slide. Also, the high profit after building a team. And the last thing is, as you're building a team, you can almost work yourself out of needing to do anything. And so when an investor comes in and buys a business, if they can pull the owner out without the whole thing falling apart, that is a really attractive business model for these investors to come in and invest in. And that's something that can be done as well. And we work with our mastermind students on doing that exact thing. How can we build your team? It takes a few years to do this, but how do you build your team to where they are running everything, everybody's being held accountable and being motivated to push the business forward, but you're just reviewing everything and you're just up at the top looking at it all. So that is an opportunity too, down the road, right? Okay, so does this all make a little bit more sense to you guys? Do you guys feel like, okay, I get it. I get the science behind this. This makes a lot of sense. I'm excited to, learn how to do it, right? Awesome. Great. Now, one thing I haven't even dug into yet is back work and cleanup opportunities. So 9 times out of 10, when you get a new client, they have not done their bookkeeping for months or even years in the past. And that's actually why they're looking for bookkeeping services. So it can be a really awesome, fun income opportunity that you have. It's a little harder to predict because it varies from client to client. So I didn't include it on that other slide showing your consistent income, but these can be pretty dramatic and pretty massive when you get a new client and they need cleanup work. So what I can do here is highlight some examples of some students and the cleanup jobs that they've been able to get. So Kim is our first one. She joined our academy and she got a $9,000 cleanup job about 6 to 8 weeks into the program. This was the Kim I was talking about earlier that her first client was $21.97 per month, but she also had a $9,000 cleanup job. So by the end of her second month in business and being in the Bookkeeper Academy, Kim actually made over $11,000, which is absolutely incredible. So yes, you can build up your monthly reoccurring income really quickly, especially to be able to cover that monthly investment into the academy. But you could literally pay off the entire investment with your first couple clients. And then the rest of the year is straight profit. So really, really cool. And background on Kim, she did have an accounting degree, but she was working part-time in an insurance agency, I think as kind of more of like a secretarial office manager position. So she never really worked in QuickBooks or anything like that. We helped her learn how to do an awesome job for this client, and this client has since sent her referrals, which is really cool. Next example is Alicia. Alicia joined our academy last November, and she spent about 3 weeks getting her business set up and running and ready to go. And then she launched her marketing plan. And 4 days after she started marketing, she got her first client. 4 days is all it took. And this client was a little bit bigger too, $1,500 of monthly recurring fees, but a $6,000 cleanup job. So before the end of Alicia's first month in our Bookkeeper Academy, she made $7,500, which is really cool. So as you guys can see, you can do a lot with that. Put it in savings to allow you a cushion to quit your job, pay off the investment early so the rest of the year is profit, pay off other debt, whatever it is that you want to do. So I want to tell you before I go to this third example, Kim and Alicia's examples are pretty common. We see cleanup jobs anywhere from like $2,000 up to $10,000. A lot. As a matter of fact, just in the last couple of weeks, Robin got a $10,000 cleanup job and Christina got a $10,800 cleanup job. And both of them are brand new to bookkeeping, by the way, as well. So those are pretty common. Above the $10,000 mark, we don't see those very often, but I do want to share Jennifer here got a $32,000 cleanup job, which was really crazy and incredible. And I interview her on my YouTube channel. So if you guys want to hear more about her, I also interviewed Alicia as well. You can hear more about their stories on YouTube also, which is really, really cool. So Jennifer basically made like $35,000 in her fourth month. Yeah, fourth month. It was her fifth client. The cool thing about Jennifer as well is she joined in August of 2022, and the first couple of months, she worked mostly on her mindset. She was kind of scared to start doing this and kind of scared to do her marketing or follow the steps. She was starting to have second thoughts about if this was for her or not. And we got on some calls and we helped her get past some of those blocks, and she just started to take action. And then all of a sudden, she just started getting client, client, client. I just got off the call with Jennifer last Saturday. I talked to her on the phone, and she's making over $10,000 a month right now in reoccurring revenue in her business, but she is getting like a new client almost every day. Like she literally onboards clients like 4 to 5 a week. It's insane. And she just got the CPA partnership too that wants her to basically take over their entire bookkeeping department. And it's incredible. Jennifer didn't even have a background in this. This is how well we prepare you guys in the academy and how well we support you as you're learning. But you can make money while you're doing it too. And yes, Angela, typically we do have our students get the cleanup fee up front. Two reasons for that. One, when you do work in QuickBooks Online, they immediately have access to it. So you have no leverage to collect that money later. So if they don't pay you up front, then the second point is you're going to be chasing after them all the time. So it's little business owner tips like that we also have in the academy that can really make a difference in your success as well. And one of those things is that we have all of our students get paid up front. Now, I know for a fact let's see, is this one? No, that's not the right slide. Here's the recap of everybody. When Kim got the $9,000 cleanup job, this guy paid her in full in one swoop. I got on a call with her. He told her, yeah, go ahead and take it out of my account. And I got on a call with her the next day and I was like, did that money hit your account yet? She's like, no, I'm so nervous. I haven't even charged him yet. And I was like, oh my gosh, do it. Run that payment, girl. So she got it in one swoop. And then Alicia, I think hers was broken out maybe between two payments. And then Jennifer talks about in the podcast interview, she actually broke that $32,000 up over a 4-month time span as she was slowly completing the cleanup job. But she made him pay, then she did a little bit of work. Then he paid again, did a little bit of work. So you're always getting it up front in advance of the services. And when we make our bookkeeping clients pay for bookkeeping services, the monthly fee is also paid at the beginning of the month for the services that are being provided. So that way you never have to worry about chasing people down because that takes up way too much time. So great question, Angela. when these ladies got these potential clients, obviously we help them understand how all the steps leading up to getting paid, but we also help them understand all the steps to come after because we want to teach you guys how to do a really great job for these clients because then these clients will do your marketing for you because they'll tell everybody how of an awesome job that you did and then you'll get more clients that way, which is cool. And I'm going to go into detail on this a little bit later, but here's some examples of some of the ways that we help them achieve these results. So the first thing is we taught them how to conduct a client discovery call. We actually give our students a script of what questions to ask so they know exactly, if somebody's interested in bookkeeping services, what do you even say when you get on a call? We tell you exactly what to say. Then from there, we take that information and we show you how to quote properly. We help you learn that skill of quoting. We help them quote. They didn't do all of that on their own. We help them formulate those quotes. Then we help them learn how to propose the quote to the client and explain the value so they say yes. Specifically with Kim, we actually even reviewed her initial discovery call with them. She let us do that on a coaching call once. And so I gave her the exact tips like, okay, this is what they said. This is how the call ended. So this is what I would say in your email to follow up. And they immediately responded back and said yes to her. So we help with all of that as well. And then of course we show you how to onboard the client. What are all the things that you're going to need from your client to actually even be able to do the work and get help learning how to do the work. So we give you a list and show you how to onboard the client. And then once you get everything from the client, we show you how to break a cleanup job down into manageable step-by-step process. I just got on a call with Stephanie last night who has that big cleanup job because her client needs financials so he can get a loan. So we broke that down. Here's the first 3 things that you need to do. Don't worry about anything else. Get those 3 things done, and then let's book a call again and let's figure that out. And so most of this is done through our group and through our Zoom calls, our group Zoom calls, which is awesome. And then from there too, we also showed them how to actually complete the ongoing monthly work so they can continue to provide value so that way the client never wants to leave. Brittany says, so if they sign on mid or end of month, we still charge them for the full monthly price, correct? So that can be flexible. So sometimes people will throw that month into the cleanup fee, and sometimes people will charge a prorated, sometimes people will just charge the fee. Whatever is going to be the easiest for the client to understand. So let's say you're getting a client in right now, December 21st, and they didn't do any of their bookkeeping for all of 2023. I would probably say, okay, I'm going to charge you X amount of money for getting all of 2023 done. And then starting January 1st, it's X amount per month. And I would have them sign the engagement letter, enter their banking information. Then I would immediately process the cleanup fee, take that out of their account, put it into mine. And then I would schedule the monthly fee to start on January 1st. So that one is also it varies a little bit from client to client, depending on what they need, what time of month it is, how much their cleanup work is involved. Angela says, what kind of clients are they getting? Meaning what type of businesses? Great question. So they are all different. You can get clients of any size. Really, the most of what our students work with are clients that make anywhere from $100,000 a year up to like 3 to 5 million per year. Above the 5 million mark, most of those clients are going to have internal accounting departments. Maybe really 10 million. You could probably I do have a few students that have like $10 million clients. Like that's how much they make per year. So, but above that, they usually are big enough then that they have like a full-time employee that works for them, where it doesn't make sense to hire an outsourced bookkeeper. But really anything, realtors, insurance agents, roofers, plumbing people, painters, salons, restaurants, all sorts of businesses, they all need bookkeeping. So they're all ideal clients. We do walk with you step by step for the whole 12 months. So you're going to get access to our team for the entire duration of 12 months in the academy. And then most of our students renew. So when you are in there, the second year is half price. And so you get to stay in the program for as long as you want. even after that 12 months. So the first 12 months is crucial and critical. We really help you a lot being able to set that foundation for your business. And then beyond that, it's usually very valuable to stay in just to get those one-off questions answered. You get a new client in an industry you haven't worked in yet, or your client asks you a question you don't know the answer to, you'll always have us to come back. You won't ever have to do it alone, which is really great. So, great question. Now, what we also do, in addition to everything that I've listed on here, teaching them and helping them do all of these things, we also taught those ladies how to find those clients. And as you guys may know, that's called marketing, right? So our students usually spend, we recommend about an hour a day on their marketing. If you can do more in the beginning, that's fantastic. You'll get traction a little bit faster. What we see is typically when students get their first few clients, they kind of stop marketing for a bit because they're pivoting and focusing on their bookkeeping skills, and doing a really good job for these clients, which is very important. But if you can continue on keeping your marketing going, that's great too. Really only takes about 30 to 60 minutes a day to keep consistent with your marketing, and consistency is key because there's usually a little bit of a ramp up period. But we teach our students 3 different methods to get clients. All 3 methods have been proven to get our students from 0 to $100,000 in their first year in business, and sometimes even before. And that's even if you're only doing one of them. So obviously, if you do 2 of them or all 3 of them, then you're going to potentially get to your goals faster, right? But we give our students the opportunity to choose which method works best for them. So you don't have to do them all, even though we do encourage that. We do encourage you to just dive in and do all of them. But here they are, okay? So the first one is social media marketing. We help you utilize the platforms you're most familiar with to find and connect with business owners. And then from there, it's usually like in Facebook, Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, Instagram, things that you're already utilizing. We show you how to think of it from a business perspective and use it to get clients for free, which is awesome. We also show you how to post content that actually gets business owners interested in reaching out to you directly. So it's called attraction marketing. So you're going to attract business owners, and then they usually reach out, they want more information, and from there you can get them on a discovery call, which is awesome, so that you can find out more information about their business, what they're looking for, and then we can help you quote them. So typically there is no cost with this. You can literally get clients for free. Kim, Alicia, and Jen, all of those cleanup jobs, all of those clients that they got from social media marketing. Free. They got it for free, which is amazing. Kim got her client, her $9,000 cleanup job. She got that one specifically from step 1 of our social media marketing. She literally didn't have to do any of the other steps to get that one client, which was incredible. But also too, in January, we're going to be doing a social media marketing workshop where we're actually going to help you schedule out all of the posts. At first, we're going to do the first month, but ideally, we want to get the whole entire year scheduled out. So it's one and done. You can forget about it, and it's going to be automatic. So if you guys get in before that, before January, you'll be able to partake in that in a live setting, which is fun. Something else I was going to say on this, but I can't think of it. Oh, you don't have to reach out to people in a cold fashion either, although that does work as well, because people find bookkeeping to be so valuable that it doesn't feel salesy when you're reaching out to someone. So for example, we had Elena in our program. She had 11 different people on Instagram that she knew were business owners. She sent a private message to them and just said, "Hey, I have a bookkeeping business. I just wanted to know if you needed help in that area. I know you have a really awesome business, and if you ever do need bookkeeping or anything, let me know. I'm available." 3 of them booked calls with her. So the messages she sent out to those 11 people probably took her 5 minutes, and she got 3 calls from it, which is really cool. So the second thing that we teach our students is called network marketing, networking groups. It's not like multi-level marketing. It's networking with other business owners. So this is either in person or online. And we show you how to find out where business owners hang out. And then we help you create a strategy around attending these groups and these meetings so you can make the most use of your time and be able to actually like get referrals from the group. In addition to getting referrals and bookkeeping leads from attending these networking groups, we also show you how to establish referral partners. So when you establish referral partners in these groups, they are other business owners that will then go out and tell their friends, their family, their clients, their network about you, and they'll send all of their people that need bookkeeping to you as well, which is really cool. And then typically these groups have an investment. Some of them are free that you can attend, but the best ones do have a slight investment. So, for example, I paid $500 for an annual membership to this group that was an industry exclusive group. So, I was the only bookkeeper in the group, and I made $60,000 worth of business that I got out of that group with a $500 annual investment. So those can really, really pay off if you do it right. And so we've got the whole strategy lined out for you in the Bookkeeper Academy. The other cool thing is these are small, intimate groups, and it became like a second little family for me. So once my husband and I started really working from home and the kids were there all the time and we homeschooled and things like that, it was a nice little outlet to get outside every once in a while and talk to adults. So it can be really fun as well. Brittany says, would you still recommend paying for networking group if we bought into the Sweet Leads program? I do, because I don't think you should put all of your eggs in one basket. I think it's good to have multiple avenues going. And for those of you that don't know, we just released a Sweet Leads for Bookkeepers program where I'm actually going to do the marketing for you. And that's starting in January. The only reason I would say yes, go ahead and start a networking group too, Brittany, is because we're going to have a ramp up period for this program as well. So I want to be able to make it a program where you guys are going to be able to utilize it as your primary source of marketing. But until I have some really solid data, I don't know how quickly I'm going to be able to get everyone in the program clients. So I don't want you to wait for me. And that way you're going to be able to hit all your goals. Great. If you're taking action, I'm taking action for you as well. Then it all comes together. Then you're going to have massive success. So also I kind of feel like in order for things to progress, we always have to be doing something. Like never want to get like super stagnant. We always got to take some kind of action. It's that's kind of like physics, right? What is that? An object in motion stays in motion. So if you sit and wait, your business isn't really going to grow. Hopefully, I'll still be able to send you lots of leads to where you can focus on other avenues of growth, like building your team and things like that at some point. Great question, though. I love that. Okay, the third method that we teach our students also is email marketing. And the way this works is we show them how to get a large list of business owners and a second large list of tax offices. And then from there, we're going to help you deploy two different types of email campaigns. One of them is going to help you develop new clients, like business owners that are interested in becoming clients. And the other one is going to help you form partnerships with CPAs and tax offices. So if you can get in with a handful of tax offices, they will likely send you clients regularly without you even having to do anything, which is really, really awesome. So if you don't remember me saying, every business owner has to have their bookkeeping done in order to file their taxes. Tax people are overloaded with the amount of clients they have, and some of them don't even like to do bookkeeping and don't want to do it. So usually tax people have bookkeepers that they work with. They outsource the bookkeeping work to these bookkeepers, and they usually have a couple on hand. So if you can get in good with a couple of those and we show you how to do that, then you're going to be able to have clients delivered to you left and right, which is really, really awesome. And then you don't even have to do any marketing if you get some of those set up, which is great. If you go back through my Facebook profile, I did a weekly wins. I do the weekly wins every Wednesday. And yesterday I did talk about how 2 of our students in the program got their first referrals from their CPA partnerships this week, which is awesome. Typically, there is also no marketing investment involved in this, but we do have a series of software programs that can help you get lists of business owners and also help you automate these emails. So if you do choose to invest in those, it could be like anywhere from like 50 to $100 a month to utilize those programs. And there's no commitment to using those either, which is nice. So I've gone into detail on marketing. So I'm curious what methods you guys will choose to do this. So type in the chat 1, 2, 3, or 4. 1 for social media, 2 for networking, 3 for email marketing, or if you're going to do them all, type a 4 for all of the above. So what ones do you guys think? Awesome. I love that you guys are just going to dive right in and do all of them. Annabelle's going to start with social media. Hey, Sandy, good to see you on here. Hey, Brenda. Brittany says eventually 4, but to start email and social media. Awesome. Love that. Yeah. And that's if you're doing the Sweet Leads program, starting with email is great as well. Just because if you can get those CPA partnerships, then that part of your marketing will be automated. And then Sweet Leads will automate your marketing too. So you'll have 2 marketing things coming in without really having to lift a finger, which would be great. And then that'll give you time then later to add in the networking if you want, which is super cool. We had a marketing workshop a month or so ago on doing the email marketing. So if you guys get into the academy, that's probably one of the first things we're going to have you do is pop right into that email marketing workshop. And then in January, you'll be able to take advantage of the social media marketing workshop. And we have some extra stuff we're rolling out for the networking marketing as well. Stay tuned for that. But while we're on this subject of marketing, I do have a program right now that's live that you can bundle. I believe Brittany bundled it with the Academy. It's called Sweet Leads for Bookkeepers, and I'm actually going to be getting bookkeeping clients and distributing them out to the members of that program. So you can purchase that program separately, or you can bundle it with the Academy. If you have no experience in bookkeeping and you decide to do the Sweet Leads before you get a lead or sometime during that time in there, you'll want to also add the Academy. So that way you can get fully supported on helping that client. But talked a lot about marketing. I'm passionate about marketing, teaching you guys how to do that, because did you know that if you learn how to do marketing, you're always going to be in control of the money that comes into your family forever, which is really, really cool. And I love teaching it. So would you guys like to see, though, how exactly we deliver the support to our students, what that looks like should you decide to join the Academy? All right. Okay, so the first thing is we run some of our support out of a private members only Facebook group. Most of you probably have access to the one pictured here that's Have Your Cake and Eat It Too. That's our free group, but we have a private one that's just for members. We have about 200 students in their first year. This creates a really nice, awesome sense of community to collaborate with people that are kind of going through the same motions that you're going through in their business, but also in their personal life as well, have similar goals. It's nice to be around people that have the same goals as you. Because sometimes when you start a business, your family doesn't really understand it. And so it's nice to be around people that do. It's like having the world's best coworkers. We also have about 30 or so students that are in their second, third, and fourth years in the program. So you get to collaborate with them, learn from them too. Sometimes they pop in and do guest coaching, which is really awesome as well. And then we also have 8 to 10 different coaches and team members in our program that you'll have access to. They're all experts in either growing a business, growing a bookkeeping business, doing bookkeeping, sales, marketing, mindset, taxes, all that jazz. So anything that you could possibly think of that you're going to need help with in your bookkeeping business, it is available through an expert in our program. Now, how to access help from the experts, we actually treat the Facebook group like a ticketing system. So every question that you post or submit, we answer every single one of them. And we track them as well. But these questions can be related to any topic you can think of: sales, marketing, quoting, using QuickBooks Online, technical bookkeeping or technical tax questions that your clients might ask, workflow, mindset, all that jazz. So any of those questions can be asked, everything we help with. When you submit a question, we have on average a 45-minute response time for every single question that's asked during these hours. So currently our hours are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Central Time, Monday through Thursday, and then 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Central Time on Friday and Saturday. And we don't answer questions on Sunday. Couple things to note though. If you ask a question outside of these hours, number one, other students are going to answer and help you out too. But number two is we answer them, our team answers them at the beginning of the next shift. So if you ask a question on Sunday night, Monday morning, our head of education is going to go through and answer those questions, which is really awesome. Saturdays, we do have a more lax response time because we just don't get a lot of questions on Saturdays, but we do spot check it because we know a lot of you do tend to still work on Saturdays. But for the rest of the Monday through Friday times, it's an average of 45-minute response time on every question, which is really awesome. And that's really helpful for you guys as you're growing your business. You might not really understand why yet, but as you're growing your business, when things come up, when you have a question, it stops you. And then you don't know what to do next. And so if you're doing this on your own, you're going to be Googling and researching, watching YouTube videos, and then feeling even more confused. So when you have a question, you get to ask it. It may stop you for a second, but then within about 45 minutes, we're going to give you an answer to that, help you move on to the next phase, the next step. This helps you reach success a lot faster and get the information that you need a lot better. It can also help you look like a rock star to your client as well, because if your client asks you a question and you don't know the answer, you can say, you know what, let me look into that for you. And then you can come to the group and potentially be able to get back with them within the hour. I would never promise that to your client, but you can over deliver by getting back to them super quickly, which is really cool. We also offer group Zoom calls. These are about 7 to 8 of them every single week. Sometimes we have more, especially as tax season comes up. And when we do our social media marketing workshop, we'll have some extra calls as well. These are not intended for you guys to come to every single one of them. The more you come to, the better success you're going to have. That we've seen that correlation pretty steadily over the years. But we also know it's unrealistic for you guys to come to every single one. But how these work out is Monday and Friday, the calls there are strictly mindset, mostly mindset. So Robin is in our program. She is our mindset coach, and she is fantastic. Everybody loves her. Robin is from Canada, and she also has a bookkeeping business too that she started in July because she started working with all of our audiences and she saw all these students getting these amazing results. So her and her husband decided to start up a bookkeeping business too. And she made about $20,000 in her first 3 months. And so she shows you if you ever have any limiting beliefs or self-doubts or any kind of roadblocks mentally, or there are things that are challenging you, her Mondays and Fridays calls are great to hop on and she'll walk you through, how to overcome some of those things. And then our Tuesday through Thursday calls at noon and our Wednesday night call, those are what we call general Q&A or office hours. So you'll be able to come on those calls and ask questions about where you are in the process. Some of our students are going to be on there asking high-level bookkeeping questions because they've got 4, 5, 6 clients. Other people are brand new and they're going to be asking, how do you set up QuickBooks? How do I do my marketing? So it's a really nice wide array of people on there, but you're going to be able to get your question answered. Typically, they're scheduled for 60 minutes, but we stay on until everybody has all their questions answered. So if there's a lot of people on, then it may last longer, but you'll be able to get all your questions answered. And it's more of like a Zoom instead of a webinar style. So you will have the opportunity to unmute and turn on your camera should you choose to and participate that way, which is great. A couple things that aren't listed on here too is in the rare instance that we cannot solve your problem on a group Zoom call, we do have the ability to escalate it to a one-on-one call. Those are reserved for instances where we can't solve your problem on the group Zoom. But like, for example, last night I got on with Stephanie and helped her through a cleanup job. And then we also have a feature in our academy where we do financial statement reviews. So when you're done working on your first client, let's say, you can then say, okay, I'm done, but I don't really know if this is right. So I'm going to submit this to the team and they're going to do a full review and they're going to record their screen while they're doing the review. And then they're going to send you a video back saying, hey, all this looks great. This is right. This is right. I would ask your client about this. I think this might need to be changed. And so over time, you get to do that with every single one of your clients. And over time, you're going to know exactly how to review your own client's book. So you know you're doing a great job for them. So in the meantime, until you know that, we're going to do that for you, which is really cool. You're also going to get access to a client success coach. And this person is going to support you one-on-one over email and text. And if needed, if you need a kick in the butt, she's going to hop on a call with you and, work you through some mindset stuff too, or help you, get back in the game, right? So she's mostly going to help you guys stay organized, stay on track. Everybody that joins our program is going to be coming in with a different goal. So they're going to have a different process, right? Some people maybe want to make $100,000 in their first year. Other people maybe want to make 3,000 because they want to work like a couple hours a week, right? So we're going to find out what your goals are, and she's going to help give you that step-by-step process every single, day of the year. So you're always going to know what you need to be working on. She helps hold you accountable to the goals that you set for yourself, which is really awesome. And then anytime you have questions, she's going to direct you to the quickest and best support option out of all the support features that we have, just depending on what your question is. So you're always welcome to chat with her about that also. Obviously, she's super supportive and motivational. And guess what? She is actually a previous student. So she grew her bookkeeping business. She got to quit her IT career. And she then retired her husband, who wanted to homeschool their 4 kids. And now their bookkeeping business is so much on autopilot that she wanted to come back and work full time and help you guys all grow your bookkeeping businesses too, because it had such a huge impact on her family. So she's going to be a really fun person for you guys to be able to work with as well. And then, of course, you're going to get access to coursework. Most of this, you're going to have access to lifetime of forever. You're going to have access to most of the coursework forever. There's a lot, and we don't want you guys to watch all of it right away. We want you guys to get results. So there's a short series of information that we're going to have you guys go through, just basic stuff that you're going to need to know. And then from there, the rest of the coursework is going to be as needed. So as one of our coaches say, okay, this is the training you need to review that is applicable to your situation right now, that's when you're going to go check those things out. And over time, over the course of like 12 to 24 months, you'll probably get through all of the coursework, but we don't expect you to do it right off the bat. So, but lots of robust information. It's more than you would ever need to know in your bookkeeping business, and you'll be set. So I just kind of want to walk you guys through really quick what a typical journey looks like. Let's say you decide to enroll in the academy today. So the first couple of weeks in the academy, you're going to be setting up your business back office. So that way you're physically ready for clients. You're going to have your domain, your email address, your bank account set up, QuickBooks set up, those kinds of things. The one and done, the things that are going to be done after you do it the first time. Then you're going to go through some trainings on learning the basics of bookkeeping and the basics of business ownership. And then from there, we'll do another training on how to provide amazing service to clients. So this way you understand, what does it look like for you in a day-to-day, month-to-month as a bookkeeper? And what are your clients expecting from you when they hire you for bookkeeping services? So that training is going to be give you a lot of insight into what this whole process looks like. From there, you'll feel a little bit more comfortable about even just being able to communicate with a potential client about the services. You're not going to know everything, that's impossible, but you'll know enough to feel comfortable talking with a potential client about bookkeeping from there. And then we're going to give you a script and show you how to conduct a potential client discovery call. So if you have someone reach out to you, you'll know exactly what to say if they want to learn more about bookkeeping services. That usually all happens in the first couple of weeks, even just assuming you only have a couple hours a day to work on things. But then the second half of your first month, this is where you're going to start diving into marketing, learning a little bit more about these methods that I talked about, deciding which route and which strategy you want to go. And let's like develop out that marketing plan and start taking action on it. And then from there, as you're taking action, we're going to give you help, support, and feedback as you're executing this. So that way you're maximizing your efforts on getting these first few clients for yourself. So usually if you follow along on that path that most of our students do, usually by month 2, that's when you're enrolling your first few clients. And this is why I say, as long as you can make the first 2 to 3 payments for our lender, you should have clients coming in to cover the rest. So it shouldn't be a worry. You know what I mean? So in month 2, you're usually enrolling your first few clients. This is where we jump in and we start helping you with the cleanup job, helping you know how to onboard the clients and actually do all of the work. And then month 3 through 12, this is like rinsing and repeating. You're going to keep doing your marketing, keep onboarding and working with new clients. We're going to help you over time become an expert bookkeeper. And then we're also going to support you while you're working with clients from all different industries. So that way you don't ever have to tell anybody no, just because you don't have experience working with construction or salons or roofers or whatever it is. We also are going to work hand in hand with you throughout the rest of the year to help you set that foundation that I talked about earlier on, to have this profitable business that gives you the financial, location, and time freedom that you and your family are looking for. So, next steps, I have some forms that I can share with you guys here, but what questions can I answer before I do that? I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second. What question can I answer? And while I'm doing that, I'm going to drop some links in the chat too. So if you guys have the 640 available, you are welcome to go ahead and apply for funding. Whoops, that's not what I meant to copy. That's weird. It didn't copy any of this. Uh-oh, my computer's frozen. Can you guys still hear me? Yes. Okay, great. I don't know why my computer is not working. Let me see if I can get the webinar links up. Better. Here we go. It didn't copy the right thing. Copy. Okay. I'm going to put this in the chat and then I'm going to walk you guys through these links. So this first link is US based funding. So if you live in the US and you are ready to rock and roll, you have the $640 down payment to get in, you can click that link right there. It takes about 5 minutes to apply. The lender moves really, really fast. And so typically you could even potentially get on a call today or tomorrow, but they will expect the $640 down payment to get started. So click that link if you're ready to get going right away. They are also going to be closed a lot for the remainder of the year because of the holidays. So if you want to get in before the end of the year, definitely do it ASAP so you don't have to wait. If you are in Canada, it's a separate link. So you want to make sure you click the Canadian link instead. We do also have 2 options if you want to just get started and bypass the whole lender situation. You can click that link that says down payment of $3,000. So you can pay the $3,000 down. We'll break the rest of the payments out over the 12 months interest free. Or you can click the pay in full button, which is the $12,000. If you guys want to get started right away, you can do that as well. Then I also have 2 links for our Sweet Leads for Bookkeepers program. If you guys are interested in learning a little bit more about that, potentially bundling that in with the Academy, there's a link to register for the webinar and watch that, and then a link to purchase if you want to purchase that. That program is $2,000 to get started, but there's a little bit more detail. So definitely want to watch that webinar. Nancy said, do they soft pull or hard inquiry? It is going to be a hard pull on your credit. At first, it's a soft pull, but once you move through the process, they will hard pull it. So even if you have like bad credit or whatever, and you get approved for our guaranteed funding, they do pull a hard credit. Yep. Great question. So I'd love to know for all of you guys that are on here right now, can you just drop in the chat? Let me know what your intentions are. Is this something that you think you're going to do? And what's the timeline? So Angela, there's two Angelas on here. Aura, Brenda, Brittany's already in the academy. Cindy, I think you're coming in soon too, right? Dante, Jacqueline, Jalen, Kelsey, Lenora, Lorraine, Nikisha, Nancy, Sandy, Sarita, Shauna, Zacharias, all of you guys, let me know. I'd love to know what you're thinking. Did you enjoy this presentation? Do you feel like you've got a good grip of what a bookkeeping business could look like? What are you feeling? Okay, so Kelsey and Jalen are ready to start ASAP. Awesome. So also my husband Sean is on here. He's going to be texting all of you. Sometimes our text messages don't go through if you guys have like spam blockers on your phone because it is a business line. So if you do not hear from him over text, also watch your email. He'll send you an email after this too with a link to the replay. And that way he can walk you guys through the whole funding process. The lenders are like so swamped all the time that Sean really has to watch you guys through the process. So that way we can make sure it goes really smooth for you. So I'm excited, Kelsey and Jalen, I'm excited to work with you guys. Dante says I have to pay $640 every month, and is there any chance to go lower? So yeah, $640 is the typical monthly payment. Sean can kind of explain a little bit more about that as well. Can't think of any way to really go lower than that for this first month, like being in the academy for the first year. It gets lower than that as you progress on into your second year. Of course, unless you decide to upgrade into our mastermind programs. And in our mastermind programs, we help you scale your business. So if you want to dive into the restaurant space, we show you how to charge double for restaurants and be able to provide more value and then scale your business with restaurants. So we have a restaurant bookkeeping mastermind. And then we have an operations mastermind as well that's coming out. We're releasing in January, where we're going to help you build your team, that, 7-figure bookkeeping business with a team of like 4.2 people on your team. That's what we're going to be helping you with as well. So that program will be open again here shortly also. Yes, Sean is a lot of help. Thank you, Brittany. Brenda says, want to start ASAP, but lost part of my income, so it may not be able to start until April. Looking to get as much info as possible so I'm ready to go when the time is right. Great question. Great. Thank you for sharing that, Brenda. So a couple of things I want you to be aware of. If you feel like April is going to be the best time for you, number one, that is the end of tax season. So you are going to potentially miss out on a ton of opportunity from January to April. This is where our students typically grow really fast because there are so many people that need to get their bookkeeping done and caught up before tax season ends in April. Now, excuse me, there's a lot of people that extend their taxes until September and October. So there's still bookkeeping clients, but it goes crazy during those months. So I would hate for you to miss out on that. So if things are really, really tight right now, it's going to be hard for you to come up with $640 for the next, 2 to 3 months. Could you guys think outside the box for that? Do you have family or friend that would be willing to, float you the money for a few months while you get this off the ground? Do you have a credit card you could use? Maybe do a cash advance off of, or anything like that. Even sometimes door dashing is something that can help. I know my 19-year-old does, thank you, a lot of door dashing, and he makes like anywhere from $55 to $80 an hour if you go at the right times, so you could really come up with this money pretty quickly. The only question is, are you going to take action in the program? Because if you invest that money and you're making that payment, if you take action, you're going to get clients that will cover that fee. So you really only need to worry about it for 2-3 months, right? If you're not going to take action, that's when it does become an issue, because you're still going to have that monthly fee to pay, but no clients coming in because you're not taking action. So you have to decide two things. One, how can I figure out this monthly payment? And two, am I committed to taking action? Because this doesn't magically happen. This is going to take some effort on your part, right? It's not just a magic thing that happens just because you join. You still got to follow the steps, right? So if you can figure out how to make it happen and you're committing to yourself that you're going to follow the process and let us know every time you hit a roadblock so we can help you past it, you're going to have success. You're going to be fine and you won't need to worry about anything financially. Yes, and Sean's number's there if you guys want to copy that, write it down, go ahead and send him a text because if you initiate the text, I think they'll come back through to you guys as well, which is nice. You can save his number. So if you think of questions too later outside of this call, you're always welcome to reach out to us and let us know. All right. Well, you guys have stuck around with me for 2 solid hours. You guys are amazing. Dante says, can you cancel the payments after 1 to 2 months if you don't see this as an opportunity? No, unfortunately, you do have to be sure that this is something that you want to do, Dante. And if you're still feeling a little bit on the fence, you know, Sean can always give you a call and we can talk you through it. Pros and cons. Is this right for your family? Happy to do that as well. But especially if you go with through the lender, it's a loan. They're giving you a loan for this. So once you sign the paperwork, you're obligated to pay those amounts. Now, you know, you can still hustle to be able to cover that, right? And just like with anything, if things are tight 1 month, you know, catch up, catch up. There's always that thing you can do. But you are correct that this would be a commitment. So we want to make sure that you want to do this. It's right for your family, and then let's go. It's a go time. No looking back. Once you know decide to take that step forward, we're going to help you push towards the future, push towards your goals. So that is one main reason why too we typically do it this way, because it never works if when people come in and they have 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out the door, they see that like that escape hatch, your brain will just constantly keep pulling yourself back to that. So we need you to be all in. We need you to be excited. You're going to be nervous. Everybody's nervous when they start this, and you're going to have times where you feel that doubt, but it helps to be all in to do something like this so you can focus your mind on moving forward instead of always thinking about that like possibility of bailing, because we don't want you guys to bail on yourselves. We want you to see this through. You guys are all on this webinar for a reason. You want something like this, you want this change, and we want to help you see it through, even if it gets challenging, because growing a business can be challenging from time to time, you know. Great question though, really appreciate that one. All right, so game plan is on Sean's going to reach out to you guys. You guys let him know what questions you have. Let's move through the process. Also check out the Sweet Leads webinar. Sean can send that to you as well. So if anybody is interested in bundling that in, you can definitely do that as well. And then Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time, I'm just going to be chilling and hanging out on Zoom. So if you guys want to pop back on and ask questions, you are more than welcome to do that. So if I don't see you on Saturday, though, happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everybody. And I hope you guys all enjoy some great family time. And I will see you all in the academy. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.